Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And when I landed in the US, I said I was gonna show you the real America through the eyes of a Filipina. And what could be more real than an industry that's responsible for just about every single product on the shelf? I'm talking about the men and women of the trucking industry, the backbone of the economy. I thought it'd be interesting to interview a trucker and talk to him about what it's like to spend your life behind the wheel of a big rig. So, a couple of days ago, I went wandering around a truck stop looking for drivers to talk to. I get the strangest looks, and unlike everywhere else in the US that I've been, absolutely no one would talk to me. A lot of guys just waved me off before I even got close to their trucks. And even though I spent an entire day going from place to place, the same thing kept happening. It's like they thought I was selling something. But I'd never been one to give up. And I remember that I had a patron who's a trucker. So I gave him a call and found out all the juicy details of life on the road. Well, I heard that some women will pull up alongside you and pull their tops like this. And why do they do that?
I've actually had that happen to me once, and it wasn't just for a few seconds.
Thank you so much for taking the time talking to me today. So, for the viewers, please introduce yourself, Mr. Chris.
Well, I'm Chris. I'm with Expat Theory, and I am a truck driver based out of Chicago, Illinois.
Great. Well, you know what? I talked to you earlier and I said that I've been running around the whole day trying to chase truckers, and for some reason they don't want to talk to me. So, what's going on?
Well, in this scenario and the way things are today, if a lady comes up to you and she's got a bunch of recording equipment and she's wanting to put you on camera, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. That's not a great idea for us truckers. It could get us in hot water if we were to say something wrong. The way things are
Okay.
nowadays, people can take it out of context.
Okay. Well, aren't you afraid that you're letting me ask you questions, Chris?
Well, we've known each other for a long time, so I got no problem with this whatsoever.
So, are you an independent truck driver or are you working for a big company?
I work for a company. I'm not an independent. I do not own my truck. This is a company truck. It's kind of a smaller to mid-sized company with about 500 trucks.
Well, aren't you afraid of the driverless vehicles? They're gonna put truckers out of business.
Not really. I don't think they're actually going to succeed. There's too much error that could possibly happen with a driverless vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And professionals, we go through a lot of training to be in these trucks in the first place. We've got a lot of years of experience. A lot of the times we actually, because of our physical ability to control the vehicle, avoid a lot of accidents that a autonomous vehicle would not be able to avoid.
So, how long have you been a truck driver?
A little over 3.5 years. I really like being able to see the country. I've always been a traveler at heart. I experienced traveling overseas when the military. I could wake up one day in the eastern side of the country, and 2 days later, I'll be in the western side. The pay is good. I'm kind of a lone wolf anyway, so I pretty much live in my truck.
What's been your strangest cargo?
A
Yeah.
lot of the times we don't really get exact what's in there. So,
Really?
yeah, we get a bill that says, okay, this is the product number and how much it weighs. I just happened to ask on this one. This one's kind of weird, Halloween costumes and wigs and things like that. So this one's a little odd.
So there are times that you don't know what you're hauling. I mean, what if it's, I don't know, what if it's drugs or what if it's, I don't know, stuffed beavers?
Well, we don't do much for Bucky's, but yeah, it is like that. I mean, if it's hazardous or something of that nature, it's marked on the bills, and you actually have to have a special endorsement on your license.
What are those way stations? You know, I was passing through I-95 and there's a lot of way stations. I was like, what are they for?
Each section on your truck is actually limited by the government on how much weight can be on there. Your front tires, the tires in the middle, and the tires on the back. So what we do is we actually can move the whole assembly of wheels that are on the back of the trailer to balance
Mhm.
that weight out so that that one section isn't overweighted and cause problems. And the weigh stations make sure that we're in actual compliance with the law.
Oh, well, I thought it's just to make sure that you guys aren't selling your cargo, before you even deliver it. Because, in the Philippines, there are some shady things happening. Like they're even selling the fuel or something like that. That's why I thought, oh, maybe the weigh stations, like making sure that it's the same weight when it left and then the same weight when it arrived.
A lot of the companies do have scales, so they'll know when you pull in. If you're lighter than you were supposed to be, they'll know.
If your truck breaks down on the road, do you have to fix it yourself?
Oh no, no, I'm not a grease monkey. I'm not going to be crawling around underneath that hood. We have people available to us 24/7. We call in, and they'll actually send somebody out to our location to help us out. And if they can't get us back up on the road, they'll actually send out a very large wrecker, and the wrecker will come pick us up and tow us to a safe location, to a shop somewhere to get it fixed.
Well, does it affect your pay? Let's say if your truck breaks down and you're gonna be there, are you still gonna be paid the same? The
No, not
same?
the
I mean,
same. No, not the same. We make a lot more money when them wheels are turning. So if we're broke
oh,
down or something, we get a small partial pay just to kind of help us out. But it's nothing compared to what we would normally make in a regular day of driving. Literally about 1/3 of our normal pay.
but it wasn't your fault.
They can't pay you for like a normal day because the miles that are paid on a load is already contracted with the customer. So that
Uh,
money from being broken down actually comes out of your company's money.
Earlier while I was driving, I was like, oh, guys, could you please stop leaving busted tires in my lane because I'm not used to dodging them. So, what causes truck tires to explode like that? Because one time I was driving, I was close to a big truck and it exploded. I was so scared because I never had that experience before. I thought I ran over something because it just exploded. And I was like, right there. It's like, holy smokes, what the hell happened? And I saw that, the tires tumbling and it's like it was in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I'm
The
glad you
red
were harmed or
car.
nothing happened, but just got to keep in mind the high mileage and the heavy weight that we put on those tires. They just can't hold up forever. They're gonna go bad. A lot of us drivers do check our tires and try to catch it before they go really bad and get them changed before they blow out.
What's the worst time of the day for driving?
Oh, rush hour morning. Rush hour morning is then rush hour evening. Anywhere between 6 and 8 in the morning and 3 and 6 in the evening. All the cities are just absolutely insane with traffic and trying to deal with a 70-foot long truck. Yeah,
Yeah.
70-foot long truck in rush hour traffic, not fun.
How many hours driving per week?
Well, we're limited by law to 70 hours. On average, I'm running about 65 to 68 hours a week.
So, what do you do to stay awake?
I do drink my coffee. Usually I have a cup or two, but I just keep my mind thinking about things. I'm always thinking about my future for my retirement, where I'm going to go, where I'm not going to go, and things I'm going to see and do. So I keep my brain going.
So, what's the ultimate goal? Where are you gonna retire?
Well, the 2030 is the target date that's when I'm gonna turn 62, and uh, I'm still kind of a toss up. I really like the options that are available in the Philippines. That Cebu City and Mactan area are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Dumageti's looking good. Daval's looking good. But I'm also looking at places like Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Um,
Mhm.
that's a great location. I just know I'm going to get the
Okay.
heck out of here. You know,
Okay, why Asian countries? What are they offering that America is not offering at the moment for retirees?
part of it is due to the fact that I've been to Asia. You know, I was a former military law enforcement officer in the Air Force, stationed at Clark Air Base for 3 years. So I'm familiar with the Philippine culture. Loved it when I was there. I have a flavor for Asian cultures. There are other options to retire. You know, you got South America. If you want to
Mhm.
go to Europe, you got Portugal and Spain, places like that that are pretty inexpensive to retire to. But for me, my personal flavor and taste are definitely Asian.
What do they taste like? Okay, so do people try to get you to honk by doing this?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. If I pass a car and the kids are in there and they're doing the honk honk, I'm doing it.
Honk,
You
honk.
know, if it's kids,
Aw,
it's such a big thing for them. They get such a kick out of it. It makes me smile. So yeah, I'll do it.
I should try that sometime, See if they'll,
Yeah,
give
pretty
in.
girls, yeah, that'll work. Pretty girls will get it too. They'll get the honk too.
Well, I heard that some women will pull up alongside you and pull their tops like this. And why do they do that?
I've actually had that happen to me, and it wasn't just for a few seconds. This was a prolonged thing. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to complain about it, but I can't explain it either. But yeah, I've had that happen.
well, maybe they're just trying to make your day. Maybe they're bored.
That they definitely did that. Definitely made my day. Put a smile on my face. Yeah.
Does it matter if it's a pretty girl or not? As long as that will make your day.
For most of us guys, probably not. Really, just you know how guys are. We see that, we're gonna smile.
Maybe I'll make someone's day. For sure, you're not gonna see me again. So yeah, I'll make your day. How often do you see hitchhikers? Is it still common? Because I know, before, like in the hippie era in the 60s and that kind of stuff, it's fairly common, but nowadays, not so much.
Not as much. People are scared nowadays. People don't trust other people very much. You never know where you're gonna
Oh,
end up if you get in a vehicle with somebody.
exactly. They might run into someone who's like a Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, would you give us a tour of your rig? Where do you sleep? Can you show us?
Yeah. Let me give you a little quick look here.
Well, Chris, do you know how much a truck like that would cost?
I think the model that my company is purchasing is somewhere around a quarter million.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like 250,000. So this is the cockpit, the control center. So I'll turn it around here and you can see my dashboards, and they're all digital nowadays. Nothing is analog anymore. Everything's flat screen, digital controls.
That looks like a cockpit. Yeah.
And then the back part of the truck here is actually where we have all of the turn on some lights back here. This is where we kind of have our living space back here. We have our bunk
Well,
where we
it's good
sleep
for
at.
two.
Actually, I did team driving for a while, and I had a co-driver, and we have an upper bunk that you can actually set up for sleeping up there as well. I use it for storage for myself, but yeah, the bottom bunks down here, we have cabinets for like hanging our clothes and stuff. Um, it just depends on how you want to lay it out. We have cabinets everywhere with all kinds of stuff. We
Oh,
have
lots
storage
of
spaces.
storage.
Yeah, up
Yeah.
above, we have a shelf to put things, uh, cleaning supplies, and so forth. I do have a microwave. And then also down here, I have a fridge. And it actually also has a freezer. So it has a small freezer section on it. and a regular refrigerator section on it. So I have a coffee maker, a Keurig, so I can make coffee in here. Um, I'll make my meals, saves money if I can, go shopping at a regular grocery store or a Walmart instead of always buying food at the truck stops. It gets very expensive.
So, Chris, have you encountered some strange stories from your fellow truck drivers, like with their experiences?
I've heard everything from aliens and UFOs down to what they call lot lizards, which are yeah, they approach truckers and try to engage in business, and you don't see them that much anymore. I know that it used to be a lot more prevalent than it is now, but there's been a huge crackdown, not only from law enforcement but also from the trucking industry. They've tried to crack down on that. They've associated that all back to human trafficking because a lot of those people are being forced to do that. So the trucking industry frowns upon any driver who would ever be engaged in something like that, and they will pretty much be immediately terminated from their job if they get caught.
What are the most common misconceptions about truck drivers?
This job is very difficult. It separates you from your family. It separates you from your loved ones. You are isolated. A lot of truckers deal with depression. They deal with the isolation and the just almost like a cutoff of all sensory because you're by yourself all the time. It is a very important job. Every product that you ever buy and that you put it physically in your hand has been on a truck at one point in its process. Everything.
You mentioned that you are doing your own YouTube channel. Tell us about that.
Yes. My YouTube channel is called Expat Theory. I started it back in 2019. It's kind of like a video diary almost of my journey, going from a life that I had previous to trucking and changing everything, getting rid of everything and completely starting over with my life, going into trucking to be able to afford retiring overseas.
You guys should check out Chris's YouTube channel, and I'll also leave the link in the description box of this video. So check it out.
Yep. Expat Theory.
So Chris, I know you don't usually pick up hitchhikers, but if I was a hitchhiker, you'd pick me up, right?
Well, of course I would.
But you'd let me out again, right?
Sure, darling. After I make a little stop deep in the woods.
Let me out of here! Let me out! If you think about it, I'm kind of like a Hooters girl without the Hooters, serving you exactly what you need, a double shot of hot, fresh content twice a week. The only thing I ask for my service is a thumbs up on this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting the notification bell so you know when your next meal is ready. If you want to become one of my favorite customers, please check out my Patreon page for extra content and exclusive features. To help you decide what to order, check out this delicious assortment of great choices. Now, what can I get ya?